Good morning and welcome to Malmö in Sweden for EUF's presentation of the summer tour, part of the EUCS qualifying series for the big one, as you saw in the opener there, the EUCF coming up in Ostend later on in the season. That's the big finale. Of course, we all know the ranking system that gets you there. We'll go over that in a bit. But this one, the first game, the first fixture of the morning on stream, Otso taking on KFK. Having a quick look at that wonderful ranking page, we see Otso with their work cut out for them. 45th ranked coming into this one, taking on KFK, who've got a little bit better of a chance in the 25th spot. There is a look at the streaming schedule for the day. We'll discuss more this game as we go, but you have a look. Seagulls, Dublin, Gravity coming up next. Then Ranelagh taking on KFUM, Orebro. Gravity again taking on the Copenhagen Hucks. Freezebees versus Otso. Smog versus Seagulls. And then the last fixture of the day, we will be into quarterfinal action. I'm Stefan Rapazzo, and I'm calling this game remote, live from my home studio in Nice. So taking in the action with you and trying to distribute the goods. Of course, you punch these two teams in to the matchup component of the ranking page, and it spits out the expected result. And that expected result gives us an indication of which way ranking points will go. So 9 to 15 is the expected outcome for KFK. Anything less will boost Otso. So if they lose 19-10 or 15-10, 15-11, 15-12, 13 or 14, their ranking will increase even in a losing situation. If they win, heaven forbid, they may skyrocket through. This game now underway. Opening poll goes from KFK to Otso. And that looks like a dropped poll to kick things off. Unbelievable. KFK from their own line. Around, way around. Stutz goes inside. Gilman. Stutz back to Gilman again. And finds center to Rouge. KFK bouncing their end zone set from sideline to sideline. Gilman. And Gilman gives and gets it straight back, then shoots up the line. The toes were dragged. KFK indicates first that was in. That was speculatively in, but given he landed almost simultaneously out of bounds and inbounds, he must have had the best perspective, of course, and believed that the feet did drag. So that is a break, a dropped pull by Otso and capitalized upon by KFK. That bodes well for their potential to win this one by 6 or more. So KFK very much in the hunt. Even, you say that a 25th rank, is that really in the hunt for top 16? Yes, of course it is. The difference between the 66 points out, they're negative 66 rather, not 66 points out. So they are 66 points out, and Quixotes now hold the 16th spot at 120 points positive. So that's, my math says, just over 180 points out. And those points are very achievable over the course of a tournament. They're going to get 3 games today. possibly a fourth with the quarter. And as long as they can find their form. This one, a Nordic battle, of course. Either side of Sweden coming to Sweden to duke it out. Otso, let that pull land and then play from the brick mark. The shot goes and the hand clapping indicates that one is in. The throw from Wiedmann. One apiece. So, Summer Tour, a series of tournaments. This one in Malmö in Sweden. The open teams here, Ranelagh, KFK, Otso, as you see. Denmark and Finland represent. Piru from Finland, Frisbees from Belgium, Arus from Denmark, Hodfish from Germany, and KFUM Örebro from Sweden. As we're straight back into it, KFK send deep. Looks like it's gonna work. Just inside, runs up the hill. Get those hill sprints in, lad. 2-1 is the score. We'll get that scoreboard fixed up for you. Just doing a little bit of counting right now. So KFK seeing the space in the back, taking advantage of it by way of backing the receiver's speed as well as the throw. Nowhere near the defender. The separation was incredible. Just having full faith in the skill acquired by the thrower to open up the arm, let loose the backhand, and send his receiver into a small hill sprint. Otso, let that one go out, and we'll bring it in at the brick mark. Keenan puts it into play, and deep throws going left, right, and center, and second effort required, but available by Kanuti. The defender there had position, did Henrik Young, but was not able to get it in full. He got a piece, or maybe at least got in the way for some distraction, but yeah, great play by Kanuti to be able to hang on to that one. The 24-year-old from Espoo, a university student studying mechanical engineering, as well as pulling in these goals. In the women's division here in Malmö, Gravity, Spice, Seagulls, Smog, Atletico, Arus, Malmö, and Copenhagen Hucks. So the games will alternate back and forth between the two divisions, and now you're all updated. Guldagger. goes to the center. He gets it right back. Hermitslev sends it off the forehand. Well sighted, well sent. Another one on the board for KFK. Smooth looking offense there. Lauditz, Hermitslev, the 31-year-old with more than a decade of playing experience, into his 11th year right now. Home city of Audis, playing, of course, out of Copenhagen. Us Anglophones would normally spell that with a C at the front end, but KFK, of course, the first K there is for Copenhagen, spelled with a K. Frisbee Club, or some version of that. The most interesting part of Lauditz Hermitslev's bio is his sporting hero. He just gives a name and says that it's self-explanatory, and that name is Davide Mori. I don't know if it is quite self-explanatory. Petroikis and Otso. Fake the backhand on the far side of the field. Centered. Keenanen. Hotari. Gets a gainer. Madison. Leads into the hands of Petroikis. Flipper over top. Yadvi. High stall count, but redistributes. Kunuti. Goes to Hotari. Good patience out of the Finns here. Petroikis. Leads not quite in. I think that was a straddle, but the easy one following. But now we're going to say the travel turned into a bit too much of a movement, and that the pivot foot needed to be reestablished 3 steps earlier, negating the advantage of the travel call. Let's see how this one works out as our scoreboard continues to give us a little bit of a countdown. Oh, no, it doesn't. That's the clock. I'm sorry. It's 3-2. This one is going to count, and that should make it 3-3. Otso with the goal. No travel. Retracted. Of course, the showcase pitch here, the Eurodisc Arena. The wonderful people at Eurodisc continuing to support live streamed Ultimate. Beyond the games here in Malmö, there's also games in Birmingham in the mixed division. A lot of the UK heavy, and in fact entirely UK based teams there. So we may have our finger on the pulse for that one and share some news as the day goes on. Leading throw right up the guts. KFK. The under goes center. Ooh, and a turn there, foul accepted, called by the fouler. Back into the hands of Henrik Young. the 25-year-old from Luxembourg. Young looks back to center, over leads, but gets away with it. Rouge leads up line. Ooh, and the throw too far there. A turnover and a break chance. That one out of the hands of Sverre Stutz. 7-year vet of this KFK team. Otso picks up. Maitinen leads. Vorio. Now the big gainer into the red zone. Sivola goes back. Strandell and KFK gain their opportunity back. They've got a full field to go. Stutz. Nice low release backhand to break towards center. More options availed because of it in KFK. Shoot for the gainer and get a big up line. There is a streaking deep but not taken. Back to Biro. Center of the field. KFK, this is Young. Stutz. Back to Young. And right back to Stutz. 2-player game for 4 passes. Stutz wound up the hammer, put it away. Now the up line. Biro. Hangs one, a chance for the defense, but not entirely. And then Young is there for the goal. Assist incoming from Gilman. But Young doing a lot of work there. Henrik Young is mentioned, 7-year vet. Played Deluxe, played with Glasgow Ultimate for 4 years, and now into his 2nd year with KFK. Played EUCF and Windmill in 2023 as his highlights, and Joel Terry, the sporting hero. Otso. In their own end. Working to the midway, send the deep, it's hanging and well received. The big right hand of the law comes up and Otso level things once again, 4-4. This bodes well for the Finns as far as the rankings go. Mentioned off the top as you have another look there, just in frame. The scoring shot for Otso. But as mentioned, Otso's ranking will increase if they lose even by as many as 5. They will still improve their ranking. They have a long way to go. They're in 45th place. They're going to need to improve their ranking by even more. And staying level right now is a very good indication, a good potential for them, to be able to, push KFK down while sending themselves up. If they can stay in this, if they steal the game, they would boost dramatically. Of course, all this you'll be able to see on Monday on the Ravi Show. That's not what it's officially called. In or Out is what it is officially called, but the Ravi Show, the human abacus, Ravi Vasudevan. KFK need their holds, do not want to go down and play from behind as you see an Otso zone come out. Looks like a Yeah, puppy fence, but not entirely. It is. Yes, it is. It is a 1-3-2-1. Hammer breaks it open a little bit. Sileborg on the receiving end of that one. Handlers continue to reset, then all sorts of space. Nice outside in backhand to expose the zone. Not sure we'll see too much of that. I'd love to give you a weather update. I am not on site today. It looks sunny, and that wind, I mean, looking at the trees, doesn't appear to be treacherous. As you have another look at the scoring shot there. KFK stay ahead. It is 5-4. And there are 50 minutes remaining. The Danes. It's from Copenhagen, where I've only get to spend about 2 days of my life. But they were very wonderful days. It was cold. It was February in Copenhagen. It rained. It snowed. The sun came out. Everything happened. Today looks much nicer in Malmö. Wind up, not given. Otso. Undercomes. Kunas. Gets a gainer and then shot for goal is on with the double-handed layout. Otso. Not so shabby with that one. Looks like the goal recipient is Roni Hutari. Indeed it is. Look at that layout commando roll as Otso levels things up again at 5s. Five. We have not had a break since the opening point where KFK took advantage of a dropped pull. We've had very few turns, but a couple, but they've all been recovered by the attacking team. KFK moved to half and then take the super dump, and seemed like there was an option available, but got out of the way. Hermitslev comes under. Leads past the midway mark. Gets a dance step and takes Odker. And then the shot. Defense was there, but not big enough. Hermitslev sees it go overhead and takes it in for a goal. Here's another look. Defense goes up. You see the knee slap there and a bit of frustration. That one out of the hands of the number 36 shirt. And KFK stay up by 1. Otso. Get it to Kunas. And then Yarvi. Pick called Keenanen. So I've just been informed we're not even in Malmö. We're just a little bit up the road. 15 minutes by train, and there is the turnover. Very few, as mentioned in this game. The ones that have happened have been recovered, but a big break chance. Everyone is huge now. Can KFK extend their lead and help salvage their ranking? The spin around. Holtzman. Gets it back to Larson. Larson. And again, and there is the dropped two-hand layout. Picked up, the deep shot was looked at by Hotari, but he gives it and gets it straight back. Then sends it up the line, Petroikas. Petroikas leads from the corner. That one does find its way in. Kunas with the assist. And a chance for KFK to break, but squandered opportunity. Otso hold. And timeout is taken. Have a look at this again. As mentioned, not in Malmö, in a city or town, I imagine, called Lund. And it is 15 minutes by train. A couple issues with the field there. I don't have the full story, but these fields look lovely. Some factories in the background. And so a little timeout. And I will be back to call the action when the action resumes.
Doesn't work if people are trying to number 2 or number 3. They really need to make space for number 1. So they can run the sisters and they can run the resets, okay? Big company. Then we need to be more aware because right now we ended up, it seems like nobody knew there was some signs we didn't know.
And the action has resumed. Pull from Otso to KFK. Of course, KFK in white. And Otso wearing the maroon with gold trim. Ooh, and a stone cold drop out of KFK. And a glorious chance for Otso to earn their break back. Hotari goes around to center. Hokanen. Back to Otati. Underneath. Casual grab by Petroikas. Leads to Hotati. Bounce on the mark. They are close to getting this break, and they have done it. Broken back John Madison there for the goal. The 32-year-old takes a lead for Otso, puts it back on serve. And of course, putting it on serve is a game that Otso will win if this one finishes off on serve. There's another look at the upline scoring throw. 7-6 now for Otso. I thought so. So KFK in hot water here. Otso happy to have the lead back. Again, this season, it's been spoken about ad nauseum when you watch your rankings. Every point counts. And we know that Otso will stand to benefit from even a close game, even a close loss. Right now in the driver's seat. They need the benefit. They are the 45 rank in the continent right now. Of course, only 16 will go to the EUCF in Ostend. KFK second time in a row on offense for the first time in the game. Harmitslev gets a nice gainer up the line. Toe drag there. Holtzman goes to center. Leading throw, far sideline, sends for goal. The throw is spot on. Looks like it's Lauditz Hermitslev who collects. It is indeed 7-7. That makes it Galaxy point. So look at the scoring throw. Seven. Halftime taken at 8, of course. Nice time to break if you're KFK. Steal the half back by winning the first half break competition. Right now it's all leveled up, 1 break apiece. Of course, KFK did it on the very first point of the game on a very short field because of a dropped pull. And Otso earned theirs back more traditionally, albeit off a drop, stone cold drop from KFK. They worked it in from just a little further out. Galaxy point here, 7-7. Here's the pull. That one bit too much Danish mustard on that one. And it goes out the back. Keenanen walks it to the brick mark. Lines up a backhand, gives a floaty backhand. Under comes all the way back through. It's Wiedemann. Leading throw, backhand wound up, put away. Järvi. And a whole lot of flexing out there means there was a pick. That is, of course, the hand signal. Hotati. Nice backhand to break. Keenanen. Far side. Otso looking good, moving it up into the red zone here. Keenanen. around, hangs it up, a chance for the defense, and taking advantage of the Otso player, Petroikis, looking at his hand as though it was ravaged and didn't move. So it would seem a foul was called. No hand signals totally available. As they discuss. See a layout there, missed layout there in the backup round. I think that was KFUM Urebro. Foul contest. Otso will keep it and we'll go back to the throw prior. Favorable outcome for Otso and Petroikis. I'm going to have to go back and watch that one again. I was not sure the contact caused the change in possession, or caused the drop. There it is, the score to hold. Hotari collects the throw from Kunas, and Otso will take half. They'll get the disc back to start the second half. Have a look here. The Finns. Ooh, nice cut by Hotari. You see him breaking some ankles out there, but the Finns turning some heads out here. Take Galaxy Point. It's 8-7. They're going to get the disc back. We'll have all that action and more in the second half. Be with you then. Second half action live from what you thought was Malmö is really Lund in Sweden. The Nordic battle here from either side of Sweden. The Finns, Otso, taking the lead over the favorites. Well, favorites in this match, KFK from Copenhagen. And he's thrown it right into the defense. Stutz with a massive error from the second throw of the possession. Here's another look, just totally misses the intended receiver. Don't think he would have even had a chance had the defense not got in the way there. And Otso go on to punch it in. Here's another look at the goal. Boom, boom. Pickup and delivery. 73 Maitinen with the assist there. Otso really sticking it to KFK right now. Big shout out to Emil Wiedemann from Otso. A response to my messages helping me out with the pronunciations of these Finnish names. I'll still get some wrong, but I'll be a little bit closer to right because of you. Thanks, Wiedemann. KFK from their own end. Down a deuce. Second half action. Hermitslev gets the under. The wind up. Garda. And back to Hermitslev. Wind up. Delivery. Forehand. Hang in. It's going to tail out of bounds. And Otso will get another chance to break. They are putting on the pressure here. Wind up from the line. Inbounds. And Hokanen goes all the way back. Selunia. Gets the under to stick. And then hits Madison. Up line and hangs one up. Can the Finns go up a triple? Not with a defensive play like that. Trasdal knocks it away and keeps KFK within 2 for the time being. Nikolai Trasdal, here's the play again. The 32-year-old defensive handler gets fired up for his input there. Keeps it within 2 and a chance to reduce to 1 if they can score here. A big play that would be if they can. The man himself, Trasdal, zips it in the middle through hands of one into the hands of Hermitslev and now led up line. That one in for goal. And KFK evade what would have been a disastrous 3-point deficit and put themselves back to within 1. The goal by number 36 for KFK. Otso. Get the gainer up line. Keenanen sends it. The race is on, and the race is won by KFK Laura Larson gets there first and knocks it away. Here's another look. 24-year-old turns on the Jets. And gets the knockaway and an all-important chance for a KFK break. This takes us back to Nikolai Trajdal's defense in the end zone. A point to go. Could have been a 3-point lead. Now it's 1, and with a break here, it could all be tied up. Trajdal will have a major part of this swing should they walk it in. Inside throw. Graham. One of the brothers, Graham. Sends, and the footwork is fine for number 69, Nikolai Hansen. The youngin', 21-year-old with 5 years playing experience already. The lefty cashes in a goal and receives that one from the other Graham brother, who just happens to be his sporting hero. So, as I mentioned, Trajdal got that block, number 77 for KFK, avoided the 10-7 scoreline. They went back the other way, held, and then got the opportunity to break because of the D of Laura Larson. And KFK putting themselves right back in this one. Tying things up 9-9. Otso still in the driver's seat to win. But momentum shifts have been... they've been coming quite heavily in this game. A shift in defensive look, and KFK show a zone now. Bit of a arrowhead, and it works. Pick up on the goal line, the dump back. KFK now with another chance. They're going to take the time out after getting that one. Gilman takes the timeout, and the momentum shift again since that Trajdal D. KFK have been pouring it on. And from the goal line, after the timeout, KFK spinning the disc around. Biro gives, goes, and Young with the disc as they slow things up. I was just checking into, I think it's Fredriksson Ultimate Club. We saw them at the indoor championships and at Rising High, and there are the Graham brothers and Larson who played with that club. So KFK using extended area of Copenhagen to power this team up for the European season. Sends one forward, not quite in. Then, oh, the nice turn. The momentum all followed towards the continuation side, and that is a big break for Copenhagen. You see Young with the hands in the air there. Henrik Young, the 25-year-old, getting it done. He's a coach for the KFK club for the debutants, the young initiation training sessions, gives back to the community that way. And there he cashes in for KFK for them to take the lead back, and they are on a 3-0 run ever since. Yes, I've mentioned it a few times now. What am I going to say, people? The Nikolai Trajdal D in the end zone. It was going to be 10-7 for Otso. Now it's 10-9 for KFK. Can you believe it? I'm sure you can. Otso trying to get themselves back on the score sheet here. Petroikis leads sideline. Tight D on that sideline does find a seam to hit the middle. Yarvi. And wide open eventually Wiedemann and back to Yarvi. Petroikis. Ooh, that one into a tight space, but does find Kunanen. Sends to the end zone. Not quite, in fact. Foot just down before the line. Looks back towards the middle. Hotari. Then waits it out. Defensive crossing patterns. But there is a pick call that will not be a Hotari to Petroika's goal. It will go back to Hotari. Hotari. Looking for something straight in front. 2 or 3 cuts came that way and then crosses the field to the longer throw, but the well further open receiver. That is John Madison, the 32-year-old with the goal for Otso. They're back on the board. Things are tied up 10 apiece. There's the pull by Otso. And KFK. Larson. To Graham. And to the far side of the field, back to Larson. Lau Larsen to Bastian Graham. Oh, he did. There was somebody there. I saw in frame a player move, but he was looking at somebody different. He's got a better range of view than I do. Larson goes to Rosendahl. Larson around. KFK have certainly found form in the second half here. Is it enough to stretch ahead and maintain ranking points? That is to be determined. Graham gives and gets it straight back. Gives and gets it. Well, should have got it straight back. Instead, it goes to Larson, and the throw was errant. That should have gone to Graham immediately. Error there by number 50, Anders Rouge. Otso, realizing the potential gravity of the situation, take the timeout. They're going to think of that bet this one and take as much care as possible so that they can matriculate this break. Out of the timeout. And Maitinen has it tapped in. Deep set vertical stack. First cut comes Kunas. Leads too far, and the timeout turns into a burn and turn as KFK gets straight back. The 50 shirt, Rouge, takes more care this time. Graham to Graham. Back into the center, playing in their own end. Graham again, hand a little bit close that time. The Graham brothers playing in the backfield, then send deep. The big hand goes up, but cannot wrap the thumb amidst. It was the right look. It was the right mismatch, and he went for it, and the wrist cut the disc rather than the palm. Otso, and another one off the hip there. Instead of a kindness. Can't hang on, and Bastian Graham picks up, then goes to Larson. Back to Graham. Blades one up the line to Larson. Larson and Graham, two-player game. Across. And that one, foul called, immediately accepted onto Tobias Graham. And Tobias Graham throws for goal straight away. I believe that was the 22 shirt. Here's another look. Perhaps 25? I didn't think that was Stutz. Goal for KFK, any which way you slice it. And that makes it a go-ahead goal. There was a big chance there for Otso all the way down the other way. But a reciprocating turn gives it back to KFK, and that makes it 11-10. Otso now down after a 3-point run. Otso. Järvi goes back to Wiedemann. Then Petroikis. He goes with the hammer. And it is taken down. Quickly distributed. And Otso on the front foot. All sorts of options. And they manage it into Vuorio. Oskar Vuorio, the 32-year-old from Helsinki, with the goal. And Otso level things with 4 1s on the scoreboard. 11 all. Hotari with the assist. A big part of Finnish ultimate in the open side. Hotari was on the national side, as were many of these Otso players at EUC. And certainly features on the indoor version of the Otso club as well. "15 minutes remain. A couple seconds more, but by the time this poll goes up. And of course, it is a game to 15. So we may not need all of those 15 minutes. I think it's going to be very close to getting to a hard points cap of 15 as KFK initiate this next possession. Get a gainer. Inside throw does not go. And the super dump does. Gard Hermitschlev. Launches one the length of the field. That looks good. It is good. Into the breadbasket. And what a throw. As we have a look at the last score from Otso. But that makes it 12-11 for KFK, who scored that one. Great throw by Lauditz. Hermitschlev. Again, most things about Lauditz very admirable. His choice of Davide Mori being his sporting hero, a little bit speculative. But hey, that's for him to decide, not me. Has had club experience with Smash D, of course with Bufa, the Portuguese beach side. He was part of the CFC. You're talking about KFK, but CFC is a tournament down in Lanzarote, and I know that he was part of Bufa last year when Bufa won that tournament. So has some beach prowess as well. Otso. Kainanen leads and gets it again. Nice quick release backhand from the hip. Hotari winds up delivery, looking for goal. That one is hanging and dangling, but the big man, Bastian Graham, smacks it away and puts both hands up to celebrate his defensive effort. Here's another look. Petroikis versus Graham, but Graham, wham, bam, slam on the D there. And shuts the door, offering another chance. Now, with 11 on the board, Otso have already improved their ranking. Again, they are the 45th ranked team. They're going to need to improve it by a little more than that, but they are doing themselves favors already. Can they close this one out strong? Right now, a big chance to break for KFK. Hard throw inside, Graham. Of course, there are two Grahams out there, Bastian and Tobias. That hammer hangs. Holtzman received. Now Tobias Graham shoots over top of the defense and into the hands of Oliver Rosendahl for the goal. Rosendahl, the 28-year-old out of Copenhagen, picks that one up. A founder and CEO of a media company, Vinia, doing it here in the end zone for KFK. As we see this one happen in reverse. Look at that hammer both ways. And here you see Tobias Graham turn and zippity doo-dah. That one over the defense, in for the goal, 12-11. KFK stay ahead. I mentioned that would have been, that is right. It's 13-11. I mentioned that was a break. And then I started to doubt myself, but I saw the scoreboard correct itself, and that verified that I was also right in saying that that was a break. Otso out of their own end. Recycling, having another look at this KFK zone that when they used the last time, it generated a D in a very similar part of the field, but Hotari gets a big gainer off the hammer, and now all sorts of space for Otso as KFK do step in front while they were trying to melt into match defense. And then an absolute wobbler out of Young's hands gets gobbled up and taken away. Otso again, dirty hold opportunity availed. Koininen goes across and gets Wiedemann. And there is a pick up field. Ooh, I hear wind blowing. Maybe it is a good time for a zone. Wiedemann. Up and over into the hands of Koininen. Quick lead and in for goal. They do get the dirty hold out of it. That one is Antti Järvi for the goal. The 33-year-old out of Helsinki, data management team leader. And they're leading things into his hands for the goal. It was part of the 2022 WUCC Putti team that made it to semis, fourth place finish. But 15 years playing experience for the 33-year-olds. Has been doing it for quite some time. Speaking of his 15 years experience, it is in fact 2 days after the anniversary of my 30th of 30 years of knowing what ultimate was. When I first figured out what ultimate was and was shown how to throw a 175 gram disc 30 years ago, 30 years and 2 days ago. It's exciting stuff. Hermitschlev. I know that because it's the birthday of Jerry Garcia. Hermitschlev bounces it off, leading the throw, and it's Hermitschlev. I said his name about 3 or 4 times in that point. Major impact puts them within 1, and now I'm certain we're not going to have to use the remaining 7 minutes here. They're within 1. Otso only 3 away. I think this one is going to finish up prior to the clock, but my speculation, still some room for error. But KFK getting stronger as the game goes on. It's a good sign for a first game of the day. Bodes well for the rest of the day. Even if this does potentially drop their ranking because it was a bit tighter of a game against a lower seeded opponent. Well, if they can make up for that as the day goes on, that can bode well for them. I believe only one team higher ranked here than KFK is Ranelagh, who are much higher ranked. They're in the 7 spots. Everybody will be swinging hard against Ranelagh to try and make their rankings materialize as much as possible against the highest ranked team. KFK would be next on that list of teams to try and chop down. Freezebees, in fact, also ahead of KFK. My bad. That's our hardfish. So there's a few here that are in the top 40, a few in the top 30. Freezebees just outside the top 30 at 31. So big backhand wind up sent, but it's trailing away, and KFK with a chance to close this one out here if they can break. You see Stutz yelling commands from the sideline there. Rouge gets it in the middle for KFK. Doesn't like the first cut. I wouldn't have either. It was well defended. Now Bastien Graham gives a more legitimate option. And timeout called by Graham. He wants to seal this one up. The time has magically disappeared there. I'm not sure how that happened, but it has. So in any sense, we're 1 away from 15. So a points cap will take us to 15 no matter what, of course. And KFK can do that in this point after this timeout. 14-12 KFK with the disc in their own corner. Bastian Graham ready to have it tapped in. Deep vertical stack. And everybody clears for a big old swing to switch the field, compromise the force. Now the next throw comes under with all sorts of space, and KFK are churning. Rouge winds up, sends, and Bastian Graham has been a beast in this game. Can they close things out here? KFK chip forward Larson. Not yet. Larson looks back to Graham, and great throw. Chisels forward. Graham gives the fist pump, and KFK take this one to the bank. 15-12 is the final score. KFK come back from being down by at least a single, and now they were down a double. The potential to go down 10-7. The turning point, Nikolai Trajdal gets that D in the end zone, avoids it, and from that point, they outscore by 8-2 to close this game off. Big finish for KFK to salvage the game and to some end salvage their ranking. Next up will be Seagulls taking on Dublin Gravity, coming up very soon. So we're going to get out of here and give you time to get back into that one. Thanks for joining us here at the EUF from just outside of Malmo in Lund. I've been Stefan Rapazzo, and we'll catch you next time.